Coach Bill Conley joins us for a few minutes on the live line right now. Bill, Matt and I earlier this morning having a little fun talking about Chase Young, and if we want to really get his name into the Heisman chatter, need to line him up on offense, maybe as a fullback, give him the ball, let him punch one in for a touchdown. Would the coaches honestly even consider something like that?
Oh, you never know. I mean, this guy does everything anyway. He's done everything but dot the I this year. I tell you what, I mean, this guy's a special player. I figured out, Joel, the only way you're going to keep him off the opposing quarterbacks, they're going to have to put orange barrels around this quarterback. This guy's amazing.
He is. But, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, fans, we love to talk about that. And, we see a guy, there's conversation nationally about this guy being the best college football player, period. So why do we have to come up with maybe a trick play or something like that to really get him in the conversation for the Heisman folks?
Well, because you know how they like all those quarterbacks, those glamour guys, and because they're the ones they push all the time. But, you think when we had Mike Vrabel, who's a great defensive end for us, when he got to the pros, he played tight end a little bit and stuff like that, caught some touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. There's all kinds of gimmicks. But the bottom line, if he keeps playing like he is, he for sure will get an invite to New York.
Bill, I got to ask you, we have been Ohio State fans, spoiled by watching the Bosa brothers, Joey and then Nick, the last few years. Is Chase Young better than those two guys?
Well, I think what he brings to the table, Matt, better than any defensive end I've ever seen in Ohio State, is his quickness off the ball. Bosa, you talk about Vrabel, those guys were strong, physical guys, and with good quickness. But this guy is straight speed off the football. I mean, the left tackle Van Lanen for Wisconsin last week, I mean, he was getting, that was flying by so fast that, his neck was sore looking around watching him chase the guys. But he's special at that. He really is. I think he's the most pure speed defensive I've seen. And he proved the other day, man, he also has power. A couple times he carried the opposing tackle, back, or tight end, whoever they're trying to block him, right into the quarterback's lap.
In the Associated Press poll, Bill, it's the closest vote in terms of the top three that they've had in 40 years. LSU's number one by only 2 votes over Alabama, and then Ohio State is just 8 points back in third, 6 behind Alabama for second. In your mind, you've watched these teams. Is Ohio State, should they be number one?
I think so, because I think they're the most consistent team. You look at, tell me a weakness on the team. There is none.
Well, they had a punt blocked last week. I'm certain.
Yeah, but I think that one was on the punter.
Yes.
I don't think it had anything to do with that. He was too slow getting that daggone ball off. But but that's the only weakness we've had there all year. So I think it's a complete team. Plus, some of those other teams are going to play each other coming up here, and that's going to make it change. You take a Clemson team. I think people are finally realizing that Clemson's schedule is so weak that they're losing some of their respect around the country.
Yeah, when you talk about that, Bill, I mean, we've got chunk 1 down, chunk 2's now down, another bye week for the Buckeyes. So last time we talked during a bye week, you said coaches are out recruiting. What are the players working on? I mean, is it just another heal-up time and then get ready for that final stretch?
Well, whatever they did last time, they better keep doing. I think what they'll do is they'll tell the players they're getting specific things to work on, a ton of film study, because that's the greatest teaching tool you got. And plus, let's face it, this week you have a big game, Penn State. They got a big game this week against against Minnesota. So, and what is it, Matt? I think Maryland's playing Michigan.
Yeah, Maryland plays Michigan. That Penn State-Minnesota game isn't for another week, too. They're both on byes, too. But Maryland does play, yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing that's good about that. The players and coaches will be, obviously looking at Maryland because of that, but also you get a little peek at that team up north who's playing better right now. But there's plenty of things to do in the bye week. And plus, let's face it, you got to keep conditioned, and you got to get a little bit of treatment in that training room.
Okay, the next 2 games, Maryland and Rutgers. I mean, let's be honest. It would take something monumental, catastrophic for them to lose either of those 2. Are these guys peeking ahead at all to those last two, Penn State and Michigan? Is there anything coaches do during the bye? Do they look at Penn State film during the bye week with extra time, or is it singularly focused just, hey, Maryland's the next game?
Well, let's look at both aspects. That the players cannot look ahead at all. Got to focus on the team you're going to be playing next. So one at a time, that's been a successful formula. Now, the coaches will get themselves in a locked room, turn off the lights, turn on projector a little bit of a Penn State, maybe in Michigan, but they won't tell anybody about it.
Well, they do what they got to do, and so far 8-0 is pretty hard to argue with. Bill, great stuff. We'll listen for more through the week. Matt, thanks. That's Bill Conley, Matt McCoy, talking Buckeyes here on News Radio 610 WTVN.